Welcome back to the Wolfcast podcast. Sorry for this voiceover. We were having technical difficulties on Sunday, so please enjoy my voiceover before Alpha takes over. Until next time, enjoy.
I'm the True Alpha here with my talented, gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, talented sister May,
Thank you. Hi. You're overselling it though.
Yeah.
and my wonderful, loyal, talented, strong going, always been there for me, had my back, brother Fang from another mother.
Hello. Also overselling it there. I appreciate it.
Today's topic is
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We have no topic today whatsoever.
No, we don't. We're just talking.
Yeah, just chilling out, hanging out like we do. So, that's what we do. We chill, we
Yeah.
talk, we have some fun. We do the stuff, we win the points.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So, I know not a whole lot of new stuff has happened here recently on our side of the world. Um, it was a fucking beautiful day yesterday. Oh my god, it was a
Yeah, it
fantastic day
was
yesterday.
70 something degrees, bright and sunny.
And I
Supposed to
got
drop.
today,
sunburned just standing outside. So pathetic.
and then it's gonna rain,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then Tuesday will probably snow.
So you should keep that word out of your mouth. That is not
It
going to
is
happen.
supposed to drop down to like 20 some odd degrees next week.
Man, come on. It's springtime for Indiana and the USA. Ba-ba-da-ba.
But it's
Sorry.
that's what it's supposed to do, I guess. Not entirely sure, if that's what it's gonna do, but
Right.
I've been sick the past week.
Poor Wolfie.
Which was a lot of fucking fun. I got to stream a little bit more than normal because I went home early that one day. But
I feel so horrible for our son because he has allergies and he's starting to get the allergy eye shiners, and I feel so bad. I was like, my poor baby. He's like, will it ever go away? I'm like, sometimes, buddy, it never goes away.
just
Sometimes
Speaking
you
of
break
have
it.
allergies, the worst allergy I thought anyways was the eye watering. Like I hated it. Like cuz like
Mm,
I could deal with like my nose being stuffed or runny or the cough or whatever.
mm,
But then like your eyes just keep watering and you can't see and it's never this like two at once. It's either one or the other.
yeah,
I can't say I've ever had my eyes water from allergies. I've had, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
But
I bet
then
you can't, demons.
the last two or three times I had really bad allergies, my throat swelled up so bad that I could not like
Oof.
swallow anything.
Ooh.
And it was just like I've never experienced it before. It sucked. Like the only time that I would get relief if I was taking a hot shower.
Yeah, because it
Like
helps
Yeah,
I don't
clears
know.
up
that's
that.
that steam
Mhm.
clears it right up. I'd get a like a menthol cigarette and blow the smoke out of my nose.
That's only temporary fix, though.
Yeah, well, it's fucking heaven. Because you do it and you're like, I can breathe, and then you go back to work or whatever, and you're fucking like,
I can breathe clearly now. The
The
menthol's
snot is
gone.
gone.
But I
uh,
don't. No, I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna say it. No.
no, who was I talking to? I was talking. Who was it with?
I don't know,
Hang on, I'm trying to think. I was driving. I was on the phone with somebody.
Brandon.
No, I don't think it was
That's where I
Brandon.
went.
We were talking about how the government had, because the reason why the pollen's so bad this year is because only the male trees excrete the pollen, right?
Okay.
Well, apparently the state of Indiana is only planting male trees. That's why the pollen has been so horrible these last couple of years, because they're not planting any female trees.
Okay.
Bastards.
Right? I'm just like, that's some bullshit.
Well, that's a bunch of boo hawk.
That's a bunch of boo hawk. Exiting Catherine. Thank you, Gladys. No, I actually, I wanted to talk. Words are hard today, kids.
I learned English
No,
before you learn how to talk.
right. I only know two kinds of English: good English and bad English. Okay. Thank you, John McClain. But no, I wanted you to actually talk about your theory about the weather and how you think it's
Oh, you want me
off.
to go into that?
Yes, I want you to go into your weather theory because it's actually a really interesting theory, and I
So,
wholeheartedly believe it.
it's not to dismiss global warming because global warming is very much a thing.
Hmm.
However, and follow along as best you can. So we have daylight savings time, right?
Mhm.
And we spring forward and we fall back. Those are the rules. Just what we do.
Dumb.
It is dumb. I agree. But so when we do this, what do we just do? We just sprung forward, right?
Mhm.
So we went ahead an hour.
Yes, we went ahead an hour.
So now time is fucked up.
Right.
That's just how it is. It's now we're an hour ahead, whereas yesterday we would have been an hour behind. As the days go on, you're constantly increasing how many hours ahead you were prior to daylight savings time. So that by the time you get to where you're falling back, it doesn't even out, like, at all. Yeah, you fall back an hour and that does build up, but it doesn't even itself out to the point where by the time you fall back, you are a couple days ahead of where you would have been last year. That's why if you look at what are we in now? April 2022. The weather of April 2022 does not match up with the weather of April 1989. And also, what day are we on in April here?
We are on the 24th.
The 24th. So April 24th is a Sunday this year, whereas next year it's not going to be, and years ago it definitely wasn't. That being said, with our days changing and our hours changing based off of this because of daylight savings time, it might not be because of daylight savings time, but it's the only instance that I can think of that we change time manually.
Mhm.
So because of these not adding up, it makes me think that alls we're witnessing right now is while we're saying, oh, it's really cold for April, 10 years ago, we wouldn't have been in April. We would have still been in, March
March, yeah.
or maybe
We
even
also did,
February.
and another thing that I think that would factor into that as well is that you have your leap years where we
Yep.
have
Where you just
a full
randomly say
day
it doesn't
added.
exist.
Yeah, like I think it's just like I think leap years are just the stupidest. Like I understand it equals out to 365 days to have that leap year, but I mean, it's so crazy that it's just like it's every 4 years that one day just comes back.
Yep.
Like,
It's also why it's because of this that I think of why we experience weather the way it is. Why we're saying, oh, it's real cold for April, or man, it's really hot for December. It's because,
our weather's fucked up.
not back in the day, back 10 years ago, what we knew as December 12th was actually November 12th or October 12th. So it would be relatively still warm.
Right, and a good thing to look at it this way is like here in Indiana, like it hasn't snowed in December for years. Like, and if it
But it
does, it's
always snows in January and
yeah,
February.
always snows. I hate my birth month is always the coldest month of the damn year. Like, and you think that should be, December because, February, March is when, it starts warming up for spring and it's still snowing halfway into March. And it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah. So that is my theory as to why the weather isn't adding up the way it should be. And again, that isn't saying that global warming isn't real because it very, very much is.
Mm-hmm. So tell us in the comments, like, what do you think? Like, do you think is an accurate theory? Do you have your own theory for it? Do you think that maybe it's just, the global warming is just a factor? Or do you believe that through all these years of just the weather itself and these days being added and taken away is what affects it? Like, I'm really curious. I want to know what you think.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see all that.
Mm-hmm. It's just because whenever you first said it, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, that makes a hell of a lot of sense. Like, Jesus Christ, you're onto something here. Son of a bitch, I'm in. But no, it's interesting, like because it seems very very plausible. It's just like all these days added and taken away, and all these hours added and taken away. But from what I think I either heard it or I'd read it, they're thinking about doing away with daylight savings because there's no fucking point to it.
Yeah.
There
They're
really
like,
isn't.
huh?
There really isn't.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, it's for the farmers. I'm like, the farmers can still get up at the same time they're supposed to, whether it's an hour ahead or behind. Like they understand how daylight works. You know that, right? They're farmers.
Right. They know when they need to get up and
Right. We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. It's like they think like it's stupid. And it just throws everything off because you get that fallback or like during spring when it springs forward, all you're really doing is you're exhausting the majority of your workers or keeping them longer at their jobs than they want to be. It's just like
Yeah,
you're
'cause
making us lose an hour of sleep.
I remember when Fang and I worked third shift and we like went in, didn't even think about it,
Yep.
and we were like just trying to get through our 8 hours, and then like looked down at the clock and I was like, wait a second, and I was like, fuck.
Daylight
We're
savings
here at
time.
9 this now it wouldn't bother us because like you work 9, 10 hours a day. I work 9 hours a day. Like
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
normal for us now, but like back then when there was 3 people on night shift, which there's like fucking 5 now.
Oh man, must be fucking nice.
And you like expected to go in and get your 8 hours done. You get fucked all throughout night shift till like a couple hours, and then you get fucked before you go home. But
It'd be like, all right,
like,
midnight's almost here, and then why the fuck is it? Why is it 11
yeah,
now?
Right now they did it to where it goes over at 3 a.m. So it gets to or 2 a.m. Like it gets to 2 a.m. then it flips forward to 3 a.m. Or if it gets to 3 a.m. it flips back to 2 p.m. or
You,
2
you know
a.m.
how
It's
much
like,
that fucks me with with my work having me come in at so when they have us work 10-hour shifts and I have to show up at 4,
mm-hmm,
my first alarm goes off at 3 a.m.
mm-hmm.
So it sits there and it's like, oh, it's about to hit 2 a.m. Bink, 3 a.m.
Yep. You're just like son of a bitch.
Oh,
this
well,
past
fuck you.
this past year, like normally it doesn't affect me. Like I wake up and I'm like, cool, we lost an hour. Cool, we sprung forward an hour. Whatever. This past year, it hit me so fucking hard. Like for the longest time, like I think when we fell back a couple months ago,
Mm.
I like would wake up every day just more tired than I was. Like I could not like get used to the adjustment of it. And it's never affected me before, but like it just fucked me hard this last time.
Oh yeah. It's truthfully not fair. It's just because it exhausts the workers. Like it's like here, isn't this great? You're getting more work hours to your day. Yeah, it's great and all, but you're really killing me with taking away my sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, if I wanted to work longer, I'd look at my boss and be like, "Hey, can I stay over an hour?" And they're gonna be like,
Right.
"I ain't gonna tell you no."
Huh. Please work longer, work harder. We want you here. I don't want to fucking be here, but okay.
I will
Like,
say this: I've my last 2 bosses have been real nice and supportive. This one a lot more. Like he's told me, he's seen me one day, and he was like, "Dude, I've known you for years. I've been your boss 3 different times. But you're not yourself. I want you to take off and go home." Like I went home like 4 hours one day. He's like, "Take the rest of the day as a mental day."
right.
Like so, like that was nice. And then he told me to call in one day. It's like, here, take another mental day. And I was like, I can't do that. I mean, I can afford it, but like, the job already sucks. Like, I don't want to sit there and like, and maybe I should have. Like, maybe I do need a mental day. Like, but at the
Everyone
same
does.
time, I don't want to make the job harder for everybody. Like, just because I fucking, 'cause then they suffer.
Well, it could also be the fact that he was maybe overstaffed and just trying to cut down on labor as well.
Oh no, he wasn't there that day.
Yeah. I remember that day because I was like, hey, I'm coming through. Or no, it was before that. You gave me a heads up.
Well, what happened is like it was like a Monday. My assistant was off. My boss was on vacation, and we if everyone would have shown up, we would have been overstaffed. Like the people there was already like 7 people, and then we had 6 call offs. By the fifth call off, I went in the office, kicked the chair, and I was just like fucking flipping out. I was done. I was over it. Texting my boss, I was like, "Look, I know like you're on vacation. I'm sorry." I said, "I'm getting fucking frustrated." He's like, "Well, what I want you to do tomorrow is call in, and I won't punish you." And I was like, "I can't do that." He's like, "All right, well then Thursday when I get back from vacation, I'm sending you home early." I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
I don't know. I just I need my vacation to get here. I'm like
You're
9
ready.
days away.
I need my work to
So
quit giving me fucking overtime. Like my new supervisor, he's from somewhere. I don't remember where he's from. It'll bother me now. But he's a really cool dude, and he'll approach me with the clipboard, and I'll be like, "You already know how I feel about this," and he's like, "Yeah, I know, but come on, it's more money." I was like, "You guys pay me enough that I make enough money working through the week. I don't want the overtime."
Right. It's
Yeah,
like I don't want it.
whenever you guys give me overtime, I go into another tax bracket, so it's like you're not really paying me anymore.
like the money's nice. Like there was like
I'd
I
rather have
was
my weekends.
yes, no, I agree 100%. Like I like I could understand if I had kids or like a wife and like I needed to like be making all the money in the world, but I don't need to right now because I don't have kids or a wife and I have money.
Right.
But like it's just I would rather have my days off. There was something I was going with this. Oh, I actually got really like I wouldn't say addicted, but I got like because like I said, just like I just mentioned, I don't need to make the money. I have the money. But like I got so addicted to getting overtime that I like looked at my old boss and was like, "Hey, put me on 9 hours instead of 8 hours." She's like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever, go ahead, let's do it." So I was making more money while I was also showing up on time, which I know a lot of like 98% of the people or places, you show up on time or you get pointed or whatever. But like my job, as long as you're fucking there at a decent time, you're not gonna get in trouble. But I was like showing up on time. I was working my 9 hours, and sometimes I would be working like 11, 10 hours. So like I would like get my check at the end of the day, and I was like, oh, cool, this is awesome. Well, then I started striving for like I want to make this much of this check, and I finally hit that fucking point one check, and I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm just gonna go back to working what I normally work.
There you go.
But like now recently with like just being bleh, I show up fucking anywhere from like a half hour late, like begging, like I like beg to go home. Like it's bad. Like I don't know. Like it's kind. I could see like I know personally like I shouldn't, and I like look at myself as I'm doing this, like in a phantom form, and I'm like, dude, don't be doing this. This is wrong. Because I could understand like from a boss point of view, because both of my bosses like me, like I've mentioned. I've known my GM for years, and I've known my assistant for years. I'm really close with both of them. And like I know they feel for me, they see what I'm going through, they know that I'm not myself, but like I could just imagine being a boss and like having that one person come up every day and be like, can I just go home? Please send me home. Like labor's high or like whatever it may be. But like
Like,
I could just
let me go.
imagine my boss being like, God dang it, like, dude, every fucking day. If you don't want to work, just quit. I've
Right.
tried. They won't let me.
He won't let me leave.
I
Like I go
mean,
up to my boss all the time and go, if I quit today, say 2 weeks from now, hey, I should start making more money. Can I come back? You can't quit, man. I need you here.
he's offered to. He asked me one time when I was coming through. He's like, "Hey, what's it gonna take to get you back in here?" And I was like, $18 an hour, 10-hour days.
Because he's asked me that, and I was like, "You're not going to be able to offer him what."
Actually, yeah, right now it's gone up. I'm at 21 now.
Mhm.
So that's what I would require. I could go with a bare minimum of like 18, 19 an hour and 10-hour days. I could live off of that. That's what it would take to get me back there. And I would go back.
Well, yeah, you'd come back. The job's fucking dumb easy. But like I make decent money for the job I do, and I know I bitch and complain about it. You guys have heard me on the podcast. You guys have heard me personally because you guys are my friends. But it's just so easy. Like there's downtime. Yes, we should be cleaning, but there's downtime. There's times where like I'm doing like a deposit and I can watch my TV show. So I can watch my TV shows while I'm doing deposit instead of having to stress about them later. And that means more time to stream. If I'm late, I don't get docked for it. If I want to call in, I don't get docked for it. I may have my employees going, fucking course he called in or whatever. Bitch, I've called in 3 times in 12 years.
Right.
Up until this past year, it was only one.
Actually, you know what? Let me reiterate what I was saying. So, or not reiterate, but change what I was saying. I would come back for 18 an hour, 10-hour days, and a management position.
I would say there was a maintenance position.
I'm
But,
not doing that again.
bro, maintenance is fucking
So,
easy.
the whole reason why I will not do maintenance again is because I went outside, cleaned up all the cigarette butts. Came inside, cleaned up the bathrooms. I get pulled aside. They found 2 cigarette butts outside that were probably, in all honesty, just flicked. As well as in the corner of the women's bathroom, there was dirt. And they threatened to fire me over it. And that was the day that I walked out and said, or the next day when I didn't show up to work and I just quit and went to go work at Ison. Because I wasn't dealing with that. I wasn't going to sit there and let them nitpick over the tiniest little shit and threaten to fire me over it.
I remember they were giving you so much shit about it too. And you're like, this is fucking stupid. You were so mad.
Yeah.
This might bite me in the ass. I care to an extent, but I honestly don't care. But like, I honestly feel like I'm unfireable there. Like, I've walked out. I've cussed out supervisors, GMs. I've fought with employees. I've argued with customers, cussed out customers. I've like the list goes on. Some things that I'm not going to mention because if someone is listening from work and it gets around, not bad, like, but like, like I've kissed exes, whatever. I honestly, whatever. I don't care. Like I've done so many things, like, and like the list goes on and on. Like, but like, I just at the end of the day, I just feel like they look at me like, no, we need him. You don't need me. It's like my buddy Scuba Steve says all the time. The store is still gonna go on if I call in that day. It's gonna the store's not gonna burn down just because Alpha's not there for the day.
Right, but they've made it feel like, you can't leave the store because, everything's on your shoulders. So like whenever you're like, man, I need to get out of here. I need a day to myself. They're like, no, we can't run without you, man. It's like the store, blah, blah, blah. They basically put that responsibility on you so they can slack off. And you can just, you suffer them just being like, ha ha ha, sucker, he fell for it again.
I understand.
I mean, but you're not completely, everyone. And a thing that I hated hearing my boss say is, and it's true, but we don't like to say it to people, is like everyone's replaceable. Everyone is replaceable. You can think that, oh, they're not going to fire me because I'm too blah blah blah. I've been here this long. They're not going to fire me. But
so here's the thing. I agree with that. At a job, doesn't matter how good you are at it. The body is replaceable. What you do is not.
Right.
That's how you need to look at it. You need to do a good enough job that they can replace the body, but they can't replace the quality of work.
I've been saying this for like a couple of years now, and it's kind of like a haha joke, but like I honestly kind of mean it in a way. Not that I am anywhere near the success or the greatness of these people, but I really do consider myself like the Peyton Manning of McDonald's or the Michael Jordan of McDonald's. I just straight up told everybody where I work at now, and I just fucked up.
I am an American badass.
Wasn't even thinking, but
it's whatever.
Yeah,
fuck it.
But like no, I really feel like I do. Like I could go in there, I could walk the building with my eyes closed.
I've done
A
it.
new person can come in and go, "Hey, where's this?" I could like, "Doop." "Hey, where's this on the register?" Bloop. Like
It's like
I can do it. Like I know everything. I know pretty much everything, even though things that aren't my job, like department stuff, I can go and do it. General manager stuff, I can do it. Like,
You have the know-how for it. You know what needs to be
so
done.
maybe that's why I'm not replaceable. Maybe that's why the building will burn down if I'm not there. I mean, I'm off 2 days a week. I go on 3-week vacations
Right.
a year. The store's still standing. It's Elton John.
You're like, oh, ask for much.
There was one time, I think I was working third shift, and you had gotten moved to first shift. I think it was during that weird period. Like
No, because you got hired in on third shift.
right,
So I begged to go to third shift so I could be with you. And on top of that, like one of the big reasons is I had to be in at 5 a.m. and you needed a ride at 10. I was already asleep by then, so like I was losing sleep taking you to there. So I was like, I need to get on the same schedule so he has a ride back and forth. And then they were getting pissed off because I would have to come in, clock in at 5, and then leave to drive you home at 6. And they were getting pissed off of that. And I was like, so just move me to thirds.
right,
So then you actually, I won't say like the actual logistics of why, but your son, you got your
yeah,
son, and you moved back to first because you had to be on first because you were on his schedule now.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to be on thirds anymore because you were on first. So I like fucking hoot and holler to get back on first, which was another fucking jungle.
Headache.
Yeah, headache. That's a better analogy.
I just remember there was a moment you weren't there. I don't know if maybe you were off that night or it was during when we were, fighting to get you on the same shift. But I had already been there for probably about a year, year and a half. And
I would have been on vacation then because it was within a month of you being there. I got thrown on thirds with you.
we had a new person come in, and when you weren't there, I didn't really interact with anybody outside of like Rosie for the most part. Like I didn't care for anybody else. And this new person had walked in there, and I think they were running through that stereotypical, hypothetical of, what if somebody comes in to rob us type deal. And I looked at him and went, well, it sucks to be you. I'm going out that back door. And they go, you'd really leave me in here to deal with that? I was like, you don't understand. I could watch this building burn down in front of me with you inside it and not bat an eye. And they called me an asshole. I was like, I don't care about you. You're a random.
Essentially how it is. And people are just like, oh, you went and tried to save me? I'm like, dude, I want to save myself.
I would look at it and be like, what are the odds that I can go in, get the person out unscathed while also protecting my own self-being? I would weigh the odds, and then if the odds are in your favor, then yeah, I'll go in there and I'll save your ass. But if they're not, burn, butcher, burn.
There was one time where like somebody was talking about that, and they were like talking about how they were all gonna escape and whatnot and get out. And we had an older lady who like barely moves, and she's a pain in the ass. Like no one I care about people, even if you get on my nerves. At the end of the day, we're all human. I care about you. I might not show it because you annoy the shit out of me. She was like, well, I wouldn't make it out in time. And I was like, look, I'll throw you on my shoulders and I will run out. I might yeet you, but I'll get you out of the building. And then she just got annoyed and walked away.
I'm grateful.
But it's also like the safety procedures at where I currently work. We're fucked if a tornado hits. Like we're just fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Like we even had the fire department come in to evaluate where our tornado shelter would be in the event of one, and he said, "Well, you're fucked, but the bathroom is safer than anything else." And I said, "Fuck it. If I see a tornado coming, I'm booking it for that overpass. I'm gonna grab one of these crank straps. I'm gonna strap myself under the overpass and wait for the bitch to cross." And then it's like, in the event of a fire, we're supposed to calmly walk out of the door.
Calmly doing shit in a fire.
Well, I'm a dock worker, so it's like if there's a fire and it's a bad fucking fire that's like going up really quick, I'm opening the dock door and I'm going out that way. Fuck going out through your guys' little escape door, like your man doors, the emergency exit doors. I'm opening up a dock door and throwing myself off of it.
But what if you get hurt? Better getting hurt than burned.
Yeah, it's
Well, then it looks like I get fucking what's it called?
Workman's comp.
workman's
Yeah.
comp. Yeah. He's like, I would, especially with the new expansion to the building, to drive from one end of the building to the other, which is what we would have to do in the event of a tornado or a fire. It is, what is it, like 4 minutes to drive our forklifts from one end of the building to the other. That's a long ass time.
Yeah, because fires can spread within seconds.
So I'm sorry. I'm not going to go out the doors you guys want me to. I'm yeeting my body out of a dock door. You guys can find me later. I promise you I'll be fine. And same with a tornado. I'm going to yeet myself out of that dock door and run towards the overpass that's right down the fucking road with a crank strap in my hand. And you guys will see me later.
Funny thing is, I love the whole workman comps talk. So what happened? Let's fill out an accident report. Everybody's up for it. All right, yeah, I might get off work a couple of days. I hurt myself. Da, da, da. All right, so you need to take this to the doctor, and you're gonna have to get a physical.
Oh, you just reminded me of a funny ass story.
I can't pass the physical. So I guess we won't be doing workman's comp. I guess not. Like, because most people try to do the workman's comp to get out of work. And like I said, I don't knock people who do drugs. Like, if you can function on them, whatever. If you're doing it to anxiety and help you sleep or whatever, that's fine. Like the people that just do it because of bad habits, I don't feel sympathy for you.
Yeah, it makes me think of a time I was sitting there picking parts where Fang works, and one of the forklift drivers rolls up and he started causing some shit. I'm like, hey, I can pass a drug test. Can you? He goes, touche, Cece, touche.
That's what I say to all the new people, because if you're a new person on the dock, I'll fuck with you. It's what we do. We're trying to, ease you in. We're trying to get you to relax. We're not all taking this seriously. Just calm down, relax, have fun with it. And if they don't look over their shoulders like you're supposed to, because you're supposed to look over your shoulder when you're backing up, I'll sit there right behind them and I'll stare at them. And then they'll eventually look behind him and you'll see him jump and get all afraid. They're like, what the fuck? What if I hit you? I was like, I'll pass a drug test. Like, we run into each other all the fucking time on this dock.
I don't know. I passed a drug test and they still fired me.
Yeah, they used you as an example for roughhousing.
It wasn't roughhousing.
You intentionally drove a tugger into somebody else's cart.
Yes, nobody was in it. Nobody got hurt.
It was roughhousing. So they used you an example as to not roughhouse.
But what if she applied again? Would they hire
They've
her?
They've asked her to come back. They've asked me to ask her to come back.
No, I mean, I would, like, if I was in your position and I like was struggling. No, I'm not saying you're struggling for money. I just mean like if I was
Right.
struggling for money and I was in your position, I would look at him and be like, no, because you fired me to set an example on something I passed the drug test for. No.
There was, I think he was a reach truck driver, and he had dumped parts in the rack, so he hadn't even pulled the parts out of the rack yet. So for the most part, when that happens, it's most likely not your fault, unless you did it intentionally. Because what happens with the reach truck is you go up, you put your forks in the product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you put it in the skid. You lift the skid up, and then you back it out. It's real fucking simple. Well, sometimes if the cube isn't made properly, a box gets caught on the racking and gets pulled off, and it causes a mess.
Or the person who put it in wasn't paying attention and put it in at an angle and
Yeah.
whipped their
So
forks out, which
there
happens.
are times,
Someone likes when you put it in at an angle.
Shut up.
but so for the most part, this most likely wasn't his fault directly. But he dumped the parts and he did the stop call wait. And people went over there to help him pick it up and all this other shit. And they mentioned, all right, go sit in the break room while we get a hold of the hospital they go through for the drug tests. And from what I've been told is the people went in to get a hold of the hospital and then they came back out and he was gone. And they were asking out on the floor, hey, where did so and so go? What, has anybody seen him? I'm like, we haven't seen him. Turns out he was hiding in the bushes outside of the office because he was afraid he was going to get arrested for whatever come back on that drug test.
Poor kid.
I would have just got in the car and left.
I think
Quit
he
the job
either
and cut my losses.
was relying on a ride or walked.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that situation was.
You hiding in a bush just makes it more sketchy. Like, if
Yeah.
you think you did wrong,
We had
either
a
suffer up and take your consequences or bye.
we had another dude come in as a reach truck driver, and first 2 days on there, he was okay. He was a weird dude, but we've had weirdos in there before.
I mean, one works there now.
Yeah, shut up. But so the guy comes in on the third day, drunk off his fucking ass.
Holy shit.
And I mean, he stumbled in through the door and like stumbled to clock in with his time card when we use time cards. And we all watched him. Nobody tried to stop him. We all watched him get on a reach truck. And we all watched as he proceeded to drive that reach truck down the middle aisle, turn the wheel real hard, slam the ass into the reach truck into one aisle, spin it the other way, slam it into the other one, and then he gets off of the reach truck and throws up on the floor.
Oh, Jesus.
And then he was gone.
Wouldn't that resolve or like result into you guys having to work harder? Why wouldn't you guys just stop them?
It doesn't make us work harder at all.
But you guys have to like fix the racks and
Nope.
clean up the mess?
Nope. He didn't make a mess. Well, so when somebody gets sick, whenever there's vomit or blood on the floor, the area that it is in gets completely quarantined off, and nobody except for a supervisor or higher end boss is allowed to go in there, and they clean it up. As for the racks,
I ain't fucking cleaning up anybody's puke. That person's fucking cleaning it up.
as for the racks being damaged, we can't fix that either.
I wish aisle F was still there because that was a complete.
It is still there, but the middle aisle, yeah, aisle F still exists, but the middle aisle no longer exists. All the aisles have been connected at the end.
The rack that I ran into by accident because I was learning how to drive a reach truck.
Yep, but
A big old dent in it.
when those racks get damaged, we look at them and go, is it still stable? If yes, then it stays bent a little bit. It looks a little wonky, but who cares?
Right.
If it becomes unstable in that one area, we'll pull off all the parts down from that rack or from that little section of rack that's bent, and then we'll tape off the entire thing so that nobody else stores there.
I still can't believe you got attacked by the tugger.
That tugger had it out for me.
It did.
For those who don't know, a tugger is a little golf cart looking fucking thing. You stand in it, and then you've got your throttle and your brakes up at the top, and it goes a whopping 4 miles an hour. The old tuggers that we had, and it was Tugger 9, still remember it. But the old tuggers that we had were old and, damaged and
super old.
Like they were just outdated tech. So I get on Tugger 9, not knowing that it was the biggest piece of shit out of all of them, even though everybody else knew and didn't warn me. And I had only been working there for 3 weeks at this point. I hop off of the Tugger. The way you can brake on all of the equipment we have, the way you brake is you can either use the brake, nobody fucking does, or you can pop it in reverse for a hot second, and that'll slow you down and get you to eventually stop. So I get to my picking location, and I pop the bitch in reverse. It proceeds to get stuck in reverse. I'm no longer on it. I hopped off. I popped it in reverse and hopped off. But it is now stuck in reverse. I reach up and grab the throttle to try and pop it going forward. I succeeded in popping it going forward. And then I let go of the throttle, and it kept going forward. Got me in the gut, pushed me into the racking. I landed on some product. The product got pushed back with me, and right above my ankle got pinned between the racking and the tugger. I yelled, and Gary came over, and he pulled the fucker off of me and turned it off.
It was out for blood.
It was Out for Blood. I got pulled aside, and they had the audacity to go, "Was it user error?" Like, yeah.
No.
I was like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, I did this on purpose." I got
I
it.
got to run my ass over.
The two things that scared me when I went to work for the factory or the warehouse is one, it was like the reach trucks and stuff. Like I was so scared that I was gonna get on there and hit somebody and hurt them or hit a rack and it fall and then it be me and I get fired. And then the other thing is like, I was walking around with a trainee all day and like you're comfortable. This person knows the building in and out. He learned the same way that I would have had to if I stuck it out.
Right.
And then the very end, he was like, "All right, well, this is your area you're gonna clean. When you're done, you can clock out, you can go home." And he left me, and I was fucking just like, "Where the fuck am I?" Like I like cleaned the area, and I like sat there, and I was like, "I don't know where to go." And then I started seeing people walk out this door, so I like walked out with them, and then like I was just in this area of like, "Where the fuck am I? I have to get back to the other side of the building because my stuff's over there in the lockers." Or the common area, and my car's on that side. And I was just lost. And I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah, you'd be a
Just
lot
ask
better.
for help.
You'd be a lot better off in my warehouse because it's literally you walk in and you can see everything. Like there's no multiple rooms. There's no like you have a break room, sure, but outside of that, that's it. You don't have to worry about going in anywhere else because you won't have access to get into anywhere else. You walk in through the fucking employee door, you go to work, you walk out that same door to go to break.
Yeah, see, the one I went to was like two different wings, two different break rooms, uh, little areas for like the bosses and stuff. And then like once you're on one side, you're like, how the fuck? The only other there's like two ways to get to where you were, and it's like go outside and walk around the whole fucking building, or walk through all the main
Yeah, you
areas.
just need to come work with me and it'll change your entire perspective on
But
that.
that's also I don't want to be on a reach truck. I don't
You
want
won't
like
be. We don't need reach truck drivers. We need storers. You'll be on
you just
foot.
want me to pick boxes up
Mm-hmm.
all day long
That's all you
until it
do.
starts to get tired.
If you're not on equipment, that's all you'll be doing anyway. Like
Right.
there
Which is
is no
fantastic
other.
too.
Yeah. Like if you don't want to drive equipment, the only other option for you is to store by hand. And in that case, you're pushing around a cart with parts on it and taking them to
See,
the location.
see, like that would be I would have like a mixed feeling about that too because like sure the first week would be or like not the
Hell,
first week the first couple of months would be fine. It'd be like okay I'm doing something new even though it's the same thing every day. But at the same time I'd be sore as fuck. Maybe not as sore because I
The
work out
first
here and
week,
there.
the first week is literal hell week because your
yeah.
body's getting used to it. Your feet are gonna hurt and get tired. After that first week, week and a half, you start getting used to it.
Mhm.
But then like uh after like I finally have learned everything and I know where everything goes and this, that, and the other, I'm gonna be like, this is
You
fucking
won't learn where
repetitive and I'm
you
gonna get bored.
you won't learn where everything goes. That's not how the boxes work. So you'll go in and you'll grab a cube, right? They'll be on the wall. There will be dozens of cubes with little fucking cones on them, and little hats. But so you'll go up to that cube. You're not assigned a cube. You're not told go do this cube. You walk in, you grab a pallet jack, you grab whatever cube you want, and then you sign into it. Once you finish that cube, you do the same thing. There is no guarantee that the next cube you grab will be the exact same as the one previous.
But I would want to be strictly on that. I don't want to be on like any
See,
lifting.
I would go back to Ison if they would leave me on a reach truck, not take me off of it, and I would have to have somebody here to get our son on the bus.
Yep.
So if they would promise they wouldn't make me pick, wouldn't make me do this, and just left me on a reach truck where I can just do storing on reach truck,
That's all you would do is you just come in, scan into a cube, and then you're left to your own devices pretty much. You know, you don't have somebody breathing over your neck. You might walk by one of your coworkers every once in a while and be like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?"
the only thing they really want you to keep on track is just your quota. That's it.
Yeah, but even then, right now, they don't care about quota. They just want the parts stored. Like they'll get onto you a little bit if it's terrible,
You can't have headphones in, can you?
No,
Eh,
no. By
Not even
company,
like
by
one.
company. Okay, no. By company policy, you cannot have anything in your ear except in your sound because there are people that are making noises on their trucks, and you have to be able to hear them. Because if
I would if
not,
I only had one.
no, because they want you to have complete
Y-
unobstructed ears.
OSHA states you have to have unobstructed ears.
'Cause that's like the
Um,
trainee that I had. He was like, company policy. Not allowed to have headphones in. But I honestly don't give a shit, and I'm your boss. So if you have one in and you're not constantly on your phone looking for songs and you're just playing music and you can hear me, I don't have to repeat myself, and you can hear the trucks or whatever around you, I don't give a shit.
yeah, it's what I
But I feel
used to
like
do is my old vest because I have to wear a lighted vest being on the dock, so I don't wear my old vest anymore. But the vest I used to wear had a breast pocket, and what I do is I'd flip my phone upside down, put my phone in my breast pocket, and then listen to music that way.
Even then, they get kind of grumpy about
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, because you're not supposed to have your phone on you. You're supposed to leave it in your locker.
Hmm.
I told him to suck my fucking dick on that one.
I
Yeah,
feel
'cause you're his
like
son.
I've broken or changed a lot of the rules where I work now because like you're not allowed to show tattoos. A lot of people do now, and it's. I don't want to say that one started because me, because I had another GM who was like tatted up as fuck. But then like the
Yeah, I
beard
don't see as to
policy,
why they figure, oh, you have tattoos, so you can't work. What the fuck does that? What does me having tattoos say that
Christians,
I can't do my job?
Christians.
Well, it's
but
not even
then
that. It's like I understand the clean shaven look and all that jazz, and they want you to look presentable, but it's like it's fucking
I
2022.
but if I had to like sit there and like look at like if I was like if I came through and I like looked at somebody, I would rather them have like a clean shaved beard than I would seeing all those tattoos. But at the same time, now, like who I am now and what I see now, and like me having both, I don't see the problem with it. We've talked about this
Yeah.
several times.
Well, I
I
would
don't want to get
also.
into it.
I'll make another point at if I'm coming through drive-through or I'm walking in, I don't give a rat's ass what the motherfucker behind that counter looks like. I'm not there for him. I'm there for the food.
As long as he
Yeah,
doesn't
and
look
they're
like he
like,
has every disease known to man, I don't care.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Now, if you're back there finger fucking my food with your fingers, then yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
then I
gonna
might
be
have an
shitty.
issue.
But like, I don't understand um the whole policy. But like, I've also have broken the beard rule,
Mm.
the headphone rule. Like, if I'm not in a position with a headset on, like if I'm in like the kitchen or like fat cash without a headset or running, I have one headphone in and
I
I'm
just,
listening to music.
if I came back and you guys put me on the line, which is honestly where I'd want to be. If you guys put me on the line, 90% of the times I'd have a headphone in, at least a headphone, unless somebody pisses me off, and then I'll put the other one in.
Well, let's get rid of them. You'll have them in all the time because everybody pisses you off.
I can tol- I can tolerate people sometimes.
I'll be honest with you.
20 minutes.
If you got hired back in and they hired you at least 18, I'd be pissed off because I don't make that. But you would have to like keep that on the fucking D-Lo
Oh
because
yeah,
like if
I wouldn't
people
be talking
knew you
about.
did that, be fucking over
No,
with.
no, no, no. That's the thing. They need to know.
They do need to know, but
Like you are not legally obligated to keep quiet about your wages.
nope.
The reason why they tell you to not tell anybody because they don't want to have to actually step up and pay people what they're worth. So if you are making more or less than somebody else, you need to talk about it. Be like, "Hey, how come I'm making this much and this person's making this much?" Like
Yep.
it needs that stigma needs to stop. If you aren't getting paid what you're worth, you are physically allowed to talk to your manager. Be like, hey, how come I'm not getting paid as much as so and so? It's
I
like this
know.
isn't fair.
No, I agree with that, and I that's something I've done a lot this past couple of months. Like there's people getting hired in at like $3 more than what like someone who's been there for 3 years and who hasn't had a raise. So I was like, no, look, I agree with this guy. This guy's fucking okay. Well, first off, this new guy comes in and he's telling everybody he's making da 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 da. You might want to shut that shit down because you're pissing off so and so who's been here for 3 years and hasn't gotten a raise. Well, then why is so and so hadn't had a raise? I don't know. That's so and so's issue. I'm worried about myself. Da 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 da. But like if you're not making what you deserve, then yes, step up and talk to your managers. What I was getting at is like if he got hired in at 18 an
18.
hour, he doesn't need to like go in there first day and be like,
Fucking
"What's up,
brag about
everybody?
what I'm
I'm
getting.
back. Guess what?
Right.
I make more than you, what your manager makes, what your boss makes. I'm the highest paid person here, and I'm day number 1."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
wouldn't do that anyway. It might happen like an accidental thing if me and a coworker are discussing like, man, my paycheck was short, and I mentioned like how many it was short. Then they might just be like, how much do you make? That it's only that much. It's that much short, and you still have more money than me. Like we discuss our wages all the time where I work, but for the most part, everybody's paid the same. What determines what you get paid where I work is your time there. There is no
You mean
extra
overall time or like hours a day?
overall time.
Like if
So,
you've been there so many years.
right. So when you start out, you'll start out as a temp and you'll get like, I think it's $16 an hour as a temp, right?
Hmm.
3 months later, you get hired on, you're bumped up to 17. Every year you work after that, you get $1 raise. If you get put into a team lead position, you get a 75-cent raise on top of your $1 raise, which is bullshit. A team lead should be paid more.
Mm-hmm.
If you're anything above a team lead, good luck because now you're salary.
Yep. And you don't get paid for that overtime. You
And
get paid
you,
a set flat rate.
yep. So there's almost no
Another
point.
reason why I will never become salary.
That's
Mm-hmm.
it's like we want people to climb in this company. It's like I'll climb as high as a team lead, and then
Like
after that,
I'm down for making the money that like
oh, salary people make
salary
bank.
people make, but like then you expect me to stay over and I don't get paid for that. I still make the same amount as if I was to work my normal hours. And there's
Love
some
that.
GMs I've had who will like miss a day and they're still getting paid the same thing if they were there or not. No, fuck that.
Yep. The way I see it, if I'm not getting paid, I ain't working.
Exactly.
Like I don't care that you're requiring me to coming in. I'm required to get paid. Fuck you.
I'm also sick of, and this has happened to me several times throughout the year, but one incident in particularly, I'm scheduled 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. I technically, and I've okayed this with my boss that I have currently now because it was an agreement that I had with my last boss. As long as I'm there by 6 and I work my 6 to 2, that's fine. I wake up at my alarm at 4. Yes, I might be 10, 15 minutes late a day because I struggle getting out of bed as majority as the rest of the world. But like um, so I'm scheduled off at 2. That doesn't mean 2:01, 2:05, or hey, it's now 2 o'clock. Can you do this before you go home? Yes, if I want to do that out of the kindness of my heart, and I want to do that because fuck it, 5, 10 minutes, or even if I stay over longer, that's more money. It adds up at the end of the day or the end of the week. But don't fucking come at me wrong
Right.
after because okay, so the incident was I got off at 2. I had clocked out. Actually, it was like 2:02, 2:05, something like that. I had clocked out. I got permission to go home. Someone took my spot. I'm leaving. An upper supervisor had came at me and was like, "Well, the trash needs changed. Why haven't you as a manager noticed the trash hasn't been changed?" Okay, well, first off, I've been in back booth. You've had several other managers up front. I was in back booth all day.
Oof.
How the fuck would I have seen the trash cans?
Yeah, because you have to
I'm
walk. You
out
have
in the
to. You have
lobby
to. You have to walk out, turn left, walk more. Several more feet, and look left again.
and look at the
Walk.
whole lobby.
Yeah, and
So
hook
like,
it.
and so I'm like, why would I do that? I was like, I'll clock back in and do that. Well, then this supervisor started talking mad shit, saying I had an attitude for it. So I turned back around and clocked the fuck out.
Yeah, like fuck them at that point.
Like, how are you gonna ask me for a favor when I'm off at a certain time? Something that these other managers should have seen and not give them shit, but you're giving me shit and expect me to still go on about my day and do that. No, fuck that. So she got the bad end of me that day. And the
Yeah.
next day it was like, really, you did that? If you would have showed me respect, I would have stayed clocked in, took 10 minutes to change the 4 trash cans, took them to the back dumpster, and come back in, said everything's good, a okay. I'm clocking out and going home now. Everything would have been fine. but you ran your mouth,
Yeah.
which is unprofessional at any state of employment, but especially yours, so you're not getting it. Now you can change the trash cans.
Yep.
It's like because I had rubbed this off on my best friend Brandon because
Ooh.
he
How did you do that?
shut up. No, because he's very straightforward management, like get it done right now, no ifs, ands, or buts.
What?
But I'm a butt. But I'm the kind of person that's like, hey, I appreciate your hard work. Thank you for doing this. Can you go do this for me? Like, I'll do this if you can go do this. Or, just randomly, like, into their shift, hey, you did a great job today. Thank you for your hard work. I'll see you tomorrow. He started doing that because he realized that he never was sitting there going, hey, thank you for your hard work. He was like, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. There was no, thank you for the hard work you did.
I've noticed something, especially where I work now. I know we're coming up on an hour, but I will say this. I don't understand. This goes for my job and where Alpha works. When people get into a higher position, it's like they lose their humanity.
Mm-hmm.
They no longer care about you. If you could watch somebody go from crew member all the way up to management, and the second they hit management, the second they get that first management paycheck, they no longer care about you as a human. You are just another worker.
Well, I want to say on a side note from that, I've always stayed humble. I
Right.
know where I am in that job, and everybody's working it to make ends meet or pay their bills. So I don't care if you're new, you've been there years. I'm gonna treat you the same. Like,
But you
yes,
know
I
what I'm
might have
talking about.
friends, but I know what you're talking about. Yes.
I've seen
So
it everywhere.
that leads me to this last story because we are coming up on time. It's like my boss now. Everybody was getting these raises, and new people were getting hired in at pays that were above everybody else. So my boss was like, "Well, what do you make?" I told him, and he's like, "No, we're going to get you a raise." Well, he put that raise in, and the two supervisors was like, "Why does Holden deserve a raise, or why does Alpha deserve a raise?" And they were like, he was like, "Well, he's been here long enough. Everybody else is getting hired. This and that. You're sending other people to other stores, and they're getting hired or more, making more money. He deserves this money. He's one of the best workers we have, the hardest working." Well, that doesn't really give us like he doesn't deserve a raise for that. Why the fuck not?
Right.
I don't get my yearly raises. I've gotten maybe one yearly raise. I've just found out this year you're supposed to get a yearly raise.
Uh,
But so he told me,
They better be paying you back.
yeah,
Back years.
they're not. They won't. But
You can actually take them to court for that.
I know. But what I was getting at is like so then he was like he will do everything you ask, this, that, and the other. And then that's when that one supervisor that I was just talking about the trash incident was like, no, he won't. And then he looked at her and was like, but he also goes based off your energy. If you give him a shit, piss poor attitude, that's what you're going to get out of him. If you treat him with respect like I do and what most people do, Alpha is, and this, Fang, this is something I was talking to Lady about just a couple hours ago. I am one of the most honest, loyal people you will meet until you fuck me over.
huh.
I will have your back. Just don't fuck with me, my money, my friends, and my family. And that's what he told him. He was like, he deserves a raise because he'll stay over, he'll help out, he'll do what you ask. But the minute you show him a sign of disrespect, that's the same energy you're going to get out of him. But yeah, what a lovely podcast. I feel a lot fucking refreshed.
Good. I'm glad.
But I forgot it.
Oh shit.
I had what? What's wrong?
So the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing going on,
Mm-hmm.
it's gotten settled. Johnny won, by the way. If you haven't been keeping up, Johnny won. But apparently Amber tried to pull some bullshit and got called out on it. Amber claimed to have carried a Milani Cosmetics color correcting and Concord kit in her purse just so she could hide her marks and bruises she supposedly got from Johnny. The problem with that is the Milani Cosmetics kit that she claimed to use didn't come out until 2017, but her allegations against Johnny happened in 2013, 2014.
It's got caught.
Got caught fucking lacking.
In 4K.
Got that bitch in 4K. Like, I'm sorry, you're an actress. You have enough money. Stop acting.
Right.
We all
sucked on his case because they cut him from.
They cut him from so much. Like they need to get him back into him. Like they need to apologize to him, and they need to put him back in.
But even as an actor or a human being, I wouldn't go back. Even though he's done 5 Pirates of the Caribbeans, they're making another one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back.
Well,
he got cut from the Fantastic Beasts. Wouldn't go back.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
This is the last one, but
it's still fair though, because why would you go back to people who so easily dismissed you?
Because they saw it as, oh, you're a man, so.
Well, there's a YouTube short that I watched where it's a podcast. It's a clip from a podcast. And I think they're a bunch of influencers, so YouTubers, streamers, the like, and they're getting into a pretty heated argument. And I think the subject was feminism. And one of the guys went, you know what? I've had it with you guys. And he's talking to the girls. He's like, I've had it with you guys. And they're like, what do you mean? They're like, you don't realize how much power you actually have. I'm like, no, we don't have that much power. And he goes, all that a woman has to do to end a man's entire career is say 3 words.
He raped me.
Boom, career over. Whether it's true or not, career over. And it sucks that it's true, because it shouldn't be.
But the problem is that yes, those 3 words can end a man's career, but those 3 words also dub that female a liar because, oh, maybe you asked for it. Oh, so how are you dressed?
Well, okay, so
are you sure it's not your fault?
No, so here's the thing. Say the woman was lying, right? She just made those allegations to make the allegations and ruin his life, okay? She gets branded a liar. Okay, cool. Gets charged with false negligence. Okay.
False accusation.
Yeah, false accusation. And it's like, okay. If the man was famous, his entire character is forever in question. Even if found that the allegations were false, people will still wonder. He'll still lose money. He could lose relationships over time. And, he could lose all this shit. The fact that anybody, women and men, because it can go both ways here. Do not get me wrong. It is not just women who can make these false allegations. The fact that it has come this far, that you can make a false accusation and ruin somebody's entire fucking life is stupid. The only thing that I agree with that is people. I won't say women here. I'll change it. I will change what the guy said. People do not realize the amount of power they have. And on that note, that is the end of the Wolfcast podcast.
I'm going to get heavy there for a second.
Fuck it. It needs to be heavy a little bit. I haven't gone on a good rant in a while, so.
Maybe our next podcast should just be ranting things that piss us off.
Here's what really pisses me off. I'm not going to say here's what really grinds my gears because that's copyrighted by Family Guy. Let's go.
Anyway, remember, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers so we could do the live stream of Alpha's makeup. So
we got to make him a pretty princess.
We got to make him a pretty princess, Wolfie. So tell a friend, tell a family member.
How many are we away?
54.
54. Time to make 54 accounts.
So go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us and help us get to 100 subscribers so we can do Alpha's makeup.
1K.
1K. It's the year 2031. We finally hit it. Like, come here.
We're finally doing it, you wrinkly old bastard.
Get back here, you fuck. We gotta get your makeup on. I don't know why I turned into like an 80-year-old version of my dad, but
we gotta make you look purty.
Look, you ain't the prettiest slut in the bar, but if I drink enough.
Damn it, you will be. Make sure to go ahead and head over to our Patreon. There's polls, one-on-one meetings. You can be in a podcast, behind the scenes
one-on-one
content,
meetings,
art lessons, and so much more. So the one-on-one meetings can be just basically one-on-one Discord calls.
Whatever you're willing to pay for, let's be real.
I would say probably the one-on-one meetings would be reserved for those who reside in our state. So that way we can go out to lunch, say hi, talk, whatever. Just have
whatever
fun, dirty dogs, no. Go ahead and make sure that you visit us on our spring. Use WolfCast20 to get 20% off
That
your
fanny
entire
pack
order.
concerns me.
I love it.
Like, who
It's
uses
great.
a fanny pack anymore?
I mean, people still do. They really do.
Dads in California going through a midlife crisis, maybe, I guess?
A lot of your older women and older men use them still, but they're still there.
Okay.
So
I like the
go
sweats.
ahead. I know the sweats are pretty cool. Dubby is now restocked with their tubs. So
I finally got mine.
so they are.
I still haven't tried it.
It's really good. I accidentally drank all the one that we had.
Yeah,
yesterday.
accidentally.
I can let you try some of mine. I bought the green apple one on the right, and it's like the first drink I took of. I was like, this is sour.
The Jitterless
I
energy blend, the Dub Sludge.
But honestly, like in all honesty, like I've tried them all from like Fang to Monster to everything, even G Fuel. G Fuel's still one of my favorites. But like after drinking this one, and yes, it's only the first drink I've had, I felt like wide awake, like focused and everything, like, which is crazy because I haven't felt like that with any energy drink in a long time.
Nice.
Like this product is genuinely, and yes, I've only had one drink. It's fucking phenomenal, and the branding, I love the fucking smiley face. Like,
oh yeah.
So I'll have to, based off of your guys' suggestions here, I'm gonna have to try the Dragonade and the Dub Sludge. Apparently.
Yeah, I like Dragonade. But go ahead, use our affiliate code and use WolfCast10 to get 10% off your entire order.
Hooray.
Make sure to go ahead and hit us up on our socials.
Yeah, you can stalk us online.
Have been streaming a lot more. I'm streaming, trying to get to affiliate on Twitch. So
don't let her lie to you. She only wants affiliate so she can get the emotes.
I mean, they're cool. I'm not. So I know my place. I know that I just want to hit affiliate so I can have my cool little extras. I know that streaming full time is Alpha and Fang streams, and I would never want to impede on that. I just want to hit affiliate so I can just do all that fun stuff. But like their true dream of streaming, I would never want to get in the way of that. So please help them up, help them get out there, help them be the cool little wolfies that they are. Because I love them both, and I want them to follow their dreams.
Alpha's not a wolfie. He's not even a furry.
We're slowly indoctrinated.
Yeah, we're slowly.
I might be. I'm in the closet, just door open. It's like,
the thing is, if you become a full-on furry, you're gonna have to come up with a name, like an actual Sona name.
I mean, Alpha's a Sona name. He can go with Alpha.
Yeah, he could.
He can do this. Alpha can be his. Like, there are so many furries out there within Alpha. You know, it's.
You know how many fucking fangs there are? God.
Yes, I know.
Damn.
I know quite a few of you.
All his personalities.
Well, it doesn't help that even my husky Sona is just named Kiba, which is Japanese for Fang.
Wolf.
No, it means Fang. Right. Yeah, it's just it's literally just Japanese Fang.
We talked about that last podcast. I'm like, you're just so basic. Or no, you were in a stream.
And I was in a stream, and you called me a little basic bitch. It's like, okay.
We appreciate you guys stopping in and watching us. If you find yourself coming back to watch our content, please go ahead and just hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Yeah, fucking uppercut it. Hit the
Take your keyboard, pick it up, smash it across your face.
When we go live. To help out the algorithm, go ahead and comment, like, and just generally help us get out there. Help us get to the 100 subs so we can do Alpha's makeup. Help us touch the hearts of everybody else because we are the #1 podcast in your heart.
Or your pants.
So or your pants. So thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!
Goodbye!
Goodbye!